Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the session Embedded Python Use Cases. My name is Michael Braam. I'm a senior sales engineer at InterSystems in Germany. And in this session I will show you some use cases I found on the Open Exchange platform which leverage embedded Python to build applications or to build small tools. But before we start, quick show of hands. How many of you know the Open Exchange platform? A few, good, great. How many of you have contributed to it and have uploaded some stuff to Open Exchange? Great. So Open Exchange is a platform where you can find small applications, small demos or tools around InterSystems Iris. They are built by InterSystems Iris developers and uploaded there. And feel free to look at Open Exchange and download if you've downloaded the tool or whatever you find there and you think it is useful. It's really a great place to go. Before we start with the use cases, I will quickly summarize what is embedded Python. How many of you have worked with embedded Python already? Also a lot? Great. And we will quickly talk about the benefits for ObjectScript developers. Then we switch the perspective and look at the benefits for Python developers. And then we go straight into the sample use cases I found on Open Exchange. Embedded Python. Embedded Python is available since InterSystems Iris 2022.1. And embedded Python is not just another Python binding or client binding. Embedded Python is an alternate scripting language for server-side InterSystems Iris development. So you can decide, do I write my code with ObjectScript or do I use embedded Python to write the code? And Python and ObjectScript live transparently side by side in the same process, in the same server process. And that means that ObjectScript and Python can interact with another. So a Python method can call ObjectScript methods and vice versa. So you can always decide in which language you want to develop the method body. And you can even have a mix of ObjectScript methods and Python methods within the same class. I'm not sure whether it makes sense from a maintenance perspective, but technically it's possible. And you, as an experienced ObjectScript developer, might ask yourself, why should I at all consider Python for my development? Can't I simply develop everything in ObjectScript? And the answer to this question is probably yes. But does it make sense to always reinvent the wheel? Python has a huge ecosystem. And with embedded Python, you can leverage this ecosystem. And you find Python libraries for almost everything here. And isn't it better to concentrate or to focus on your real core competencies and focus on your business? So we will see in a minute how you can use external Python libraries from ObjectScript to add features to your application. And the other aspect is there are a lot of Python developers around the world. And if you plan to employ new team members for your development group, this makes the recruiting process probably easier because a Python developer can be productive from the first day with InterSystems Iris and embedded Python. Let's start with a quick demo. For that I have to sit down because it's easier for me to type. Imagine you have the requirement to generate PDF documents from your application. You have to access your Iris data and output it as a PDF document. How can you do that? With embedded Python. And I've built a small demo for this. Let's switch to my demo. I hope you can read this. So now you and I can see the VS Code. If you scan the Python ecosystem for a PDF generator, you quickly find a very popular PDF generator, which is library which is called ReportGen, and it has the class PDFGen. And what I did here is I created a class gs2023.pdfcreator. It's an abstract class, so it's no persistence involved here at all. And it has a couple of class methods. And let's examine the class method. Create PDF from object script. And the key, if you want to use Python libraries from object script, is this call here. We provide a class %sys.python, and this class has an import method, and you simply use this import method to make the Python library, the Python class, available in object script. So in this case, we say import reportlab.pdfgen.canvas. And canvas is an in-memory object of a PDF document. And what it does is, it returns a handle to this canvas class in this external Python library. And with this, I can create my document in the next line, in the next statement, set document equals tcanvas.canvas, and then I simply pass the document name to it. And then I can start to output my content. So for example, draw image draws an image in this in-memory PDF document. I can do some formatting, then I define my content, and with output text, which is a little helper method, I output it to the PDF document, but basically the output text method does nothing else than draw string in a row, in a loop, sorry. So, oops, so it's better. There are certainly a lot of more sophisticated methods in this PDF generator library, but I try to keep it as simple as possible. So my output text method does nothing else than looping through my local array with the text content and invokes drawString. Let's try it. Let's generate a PDF document on the fly. So I run debug here. My PDF document should have the name GS 2023 6-6.pdf, and then let's run it. So it should run. It's complete. And now I have to switch to my Explorer for a second. Excuse me. Oh, no, I don't have to switch. It's already here because I switched the projection. So what you see here is the generated PDF document. It's from today. Timestamp is 8:39 p.m. That's my German time. But if we take a look into the document, you see the PDF document we just generated, and it was very, very simple by importing the Python library, and then after the import of the Python library, all methods in this Python library are available to you. So you can access all public methods and properties and use them from ObjectScript as if they were implemented in ObjectScript. So it's a seamless integration here that makes it very easy and very handy. Any questions so far? Let's continue. Let's switch the perspective. Why should a Python developer consider InterSystems Iris as a platform? Well, because of its seamless integration with InterSystems Iris, and if he has the need to build some interoperability applications, he can leverage the interoperability layer of InterSystems Iris. And of course, if he needs a high-performance multi-model database, Iris supports objects, Iris supports SQL, Iris supports documents, and they are all available from Python as well. And he can be productive immediately. He can write method code with Python. And let's take a look how it looks. Consider the following simple class model. It's a typical class model. We have a DB order class in the middle here, which has a parent-child relationship to the order position class, which has an object reference to a customer class, and the customer class embeds an address object. How can this be used from Python? Let's go back to my VS Code. So that's the order class you just saw in the UML diagram. It has 3 properties: order number, order date, and an object reference cut to the customer class, and it has a parent-child relationship to the order position class. And what does it do? I have a simple class method main, which prompts for an order ID. And if you enter the order ID, it opens the order object and invokes the print method to output the order. Let's try it. Let's say, okay, do # class db order dot main. Is this readable or is it too small? Okay, great. So let's enter order ID number 1, and it prints out the order data: order number, order date, customer name, and all the order positions. But how was this implemented? So it invokes the print method here, and let's take a look into the print method. Ignore the first 2 lines, import iris and cutils. I come back to that in a minute. But what you see here is print order number. Print is a print statement in Python. And self.order number is the access of the order number property. In ObjectScript, you would write ... order number. In Python, you have a self pointer, so you, instead of ... you write self.order number. And then we output the order date and the customer data, and then we invoke list positions. And the key here is the language equals Python keyword. If you specify language equals Python here, that means that the method body is written in Python. So this is an example of a mixture of ObjectScript methods. Our main method was written in ObjectScript, and the print method was written in Python. And the list positions method is also written in Python. It specifies language keyword equals Python and uses a Python for loop to iterate through the relationship object. And we use the count method of the relationship properties. So self.positions.count is the same as you would do it in ObjectScript. So that's completely transparent, and you can mix it and you can access iris objects and iris objects properties from Python. You can even write it as a pure Python client. That is an example for a pure Python client. It's a Python file, and it has an open order method, and it has something like my main method here at the bottom with tchoice equals int, input, open. That's pure Python. And the key to get access to InterSystems Iris is this simple import iris statement here at the top. This import iris statement imports the iris Python module. And the iris Python module contains a couple of iris classes to execute SQL, to access classes, and that's what we do here in the open order Python method. So CLS order equals iris. Iris is the handle I get back from my import statement. .cls, that's a method here which returns a handle to a iris database class. So db order is my iris database class, and with iris.cls db.order I get a handle to this class definition. And the same is true with my iris.cls webinar.systemutils. That's a container where I have implemented some system utils for outputting or formatting my date, my order date here. And if you want to open from Python an existing iris object, you have to invoke the OpenID method. In ObjectScript, you would write %openID. Percent is a special character in Python, so it must be replaced with the underscore. So torder equals CLS order dot underscore OpenID with the ID opens and returns an in-memory instance of your order object. And that's the full secret. Once you have opened an object here, you can access the properties, public methods. You can navigate through an object hierarchy as you would do in ObjectScript, for example, torder.customer.address.street. It's the same as it would be in ObjectScript. Completely transparent. Or we iterate through the relationship object here, completely the same. And if we run that, we get a similar output as we got with our ObjectScript main method. So it prompts open or create. We want to open an object. The order ID is my order number 1, and we get the same output here. But this time it was completely implemented with Python. Only the class or the objects and the class definition were done in ObjectScript. Any questions so far? So let's switch to the presentation. Let's switch back. A quick demo, we already did that. Let's go to the sample use cases. OpenExchange, you find OpenExchange under openexchange.intersystems.com. And here you can apply multiple filters to the OpenExchange platform. For example, in this case, I said I want to have applications which are somehow related with Python or to Python. And at the time when I created this PowerPoint, it returned 89 applications back to me. Maybe you get more if you do it today. Not all of them are using embedded Python, but many. And I've selected a couple, which we will see in a minute. The first one is an image editing application, or library, or tool. So if you want, or if you need to implement an image editing application, you probably can leverage this tool provided by Visum Consult here. And it uses a popular Python image library called Pillow. And this Pillow library, Python library, allows you to add watermarks to an existing image, to apply filters to this existing image, to create thumbnails from an image, etc. And what Visum Consult did here is they projected parts of the Pillow library as a REST API. The REST API was built with ObjectScript, was implemented in InterSystems Iris. InterSystems Iris has great support for REST. So they created an InterSystems Iris REST service. And the implementation of this REST service leverages embedded Python. So let's take a look how it works. I have to switch to my demo environment here. So what they did is they created an InterSystems Iris REST API, and what I have is I have a couple of images here. Let me take a look. For example, I have an image of the presenter. And we want to apply a filter now to that image with the image editing REST API. Sorry for that display problems here. Don't know what it is. So I hope you can see it. We have a REST call to my local host. The REST service itself is iris-image-editor/filter, and it's a post call, and you have to specify the image in the file property and the filter you want to apply. So I have an emboss filter here. Let's try what we get. So it has applied the emboss filter to the presenter image, and what you see at the bottom here is a presenter image with the filter. We can change the filter here and say, okay, there's another one, contour, and send this one. So you get another filter applied to the image. Or if you want to add a watermark to it, again, a post call, specify the file, in the file property, specify the watermark. I said Michael at GS 2023. Let's apply that, and you get the same image, but with a watermark. And I've done nothing for that. I just downloaded this sample REST API from our Open Exchange platform and used it here in my environment. Let's take a look how it was implemented. Let's take a look. That's the wrong example. That's the Iris image example here, and that's the REST class. That's a typical REST class. So it extends %csp.rest. It has an URL map where you can see all the endpoints and the methods, a post or get, etc. And you can see which methods are called. For example, if you want to create a thumbnail, call doThumbnail. And doThumbnail is the implementation of doThumbnail is here at the bottom, and it leverages embedded Python and delegates it to a doThumbnail method in the image editor service class. And in the image editor service class, we have a doThumbnail method written in ObjectScript, which invokes processThumbnail, and processThumbnail is below that method, and that is Python code. So it's an example of a mix of ObjectScript and Python within one InterSystems Iris REST class. That's really, really pretty easy. Another similar example for this is a QR code example. Let's go back here. It's a barcode utility, a QR barcode utility provided by Yuri Marx Pereira Gomez, and it leverages a popular Python barcode library, and it is able to decode barcodes and QR codes or to create barcodes and QR codes. And Yuri chose a similar approach. He created a REST API and exposed this REST API to the rest of the world so that you can use these REST calls from InterSystems Iris, for example. How does it look? Let's switch back, duplicate. So QR code has post and GET methods, so the REST API, and the QR barcode from image endpoint decodes an incoming QR code. So I have a QR code here. We send this QR code to the REST API, and we'll see what we can get back. It's pretty similar. In the file property, you specify the QR code image, and if we send it to our REST call, we get back, welcome to Global Summit 2023, Miami, and barcode type is QR code. So this REST call, that REST endpoint decodes incoming QR codes. The other endpoint writes or generates barcodes. And it's a GET method, and for example, if we want to apply that, we can see that we get, if I find my mouse pointer, so that we can create barcodes or QR codes by calling this REST API. So if you have the need to decode barcodes, QR codes, or to generate them, this might be a good choice. Let's continue. What else do we have? So the next example is a little bit different. It's the other way around. This is an example I found, an application on OpenExchange, which visualizes the climate change over the last 60 years. So it has climate data from 1961 to 2021, and it is able to visualize it, to run animations, etc. And this application is implemented completely in Python. It's a pure Python application, but the Python application needs data. It needs all the climate data. And the climate data is stored in InterSystems Iris. So it leverages embedded Python here to access the data and to render it in the Python application. Cross your fingers that it works. It worked before I came across the Atlantic. I hope that it still works. So that's the application here, the dashboard, and you see a couple of, it doesn't work. I can see it. It takes too long to render it. I don't know what it is. Believe me, it worked before I came here. It shows some charts with the top 10 of temperature increase, or it shows how the climate changes from 1961 to 2021 in a map animation. So it's worth to take a look. Go to OpenExchange, download it. It's all containerized. The installation is easy. I'm sorry that I cannot demonstrate it here. I have one more example. I hope this one will do it. This one is an example built by my fellow colleague Guillaume Ronnier. And it is an example that shows how to do optical character recognition. So in his scenario, he has a interoperability production with a business service and a business operation. And the business service receives images in a regular interval. And the challenge is to extract the text from the image. If there is text in the image, we want to extract the text from the image. And for that, Guillaume leveraged a popular library, Piro-OCR, which has all the capabilities you need to do optical character recognition. Let's try. I will not give up. Let's go to my Iris instance here. Here you see the production with the service OCR and the save file operation. And the service OCR business service monitors a directory in my file system. And I have prepared an image we want to send to the OCR service. That's the image. That's the PDF we generated at the beginning of the session. Let's take this image and send it to the service. We will do that as soon as my file explorer comes up. So here's my sample image, and we move it now to the input box or to the inbox of our service, which is miscellaneous in. And this will take a while. The image processing takes a while, but as soon as it is processed, the file here, the image file, will disappear, and then we take a look at the output of the generated output. Be patient. I know that it takes a while, but I hope it will work. And as soon as it is processed, it should show up here in the iris messages. Oh, it's completed, 6th of June 2023, so our directory should be empty. It isn't empty. Yet now it's empty. So the file disappeared, and it has created a couple of output files in the outbox. It has archived the original image, and it has created 2 XML files. And the one of interest for now here in this session is this one. That's the analytics of the image. It contains a lot of formatting information, of positions, but it contains also an element, Unicode, which contains the extracted text elements, and it's the text equivalent element contains an attribute butte confidence, so he gives an estimate how accurate his text extraction is. So 99% for InterSystems and 99% again for Global Summit 2023. Then it comes some trash here, lol, don't know. Yeah, Hollywood maybe, yeah, the rest of Hollywood maybe. And then you're invited InterSystems Global Summit 2023, Hollywood, Florida, etc. So this works pretty well. It's not 100% accurate, but it works pretty well. And whenever you have the need to implement OCR processing, this might be a way by leveraging embedded Python and leveraging the external libraries. And to complete this example, let's go to the message trace here. And in this message trace is still incomplete. Search again. Now we have the same output or the same content we saw in the file system is part of the message body here. So this works. Any questions so far? Yes, please.
Can you pick any Python library?
Yes. Yes.
So when you pick from the InterSystems webpage, that was just because those were kind of pre-selected. But you could take like NumPy or
Yes, exactly. No problem. Yeah. It opens a complete Python ecosystem to you.
How do you do dependency management? Python development, normally people use pip, for example.
Yeah. So the question was how to do the package management, etc., you can use the Python tools for that.
Where are the actual packages stored at when you import?
Sorry, can't you?
Where are the packages located when you pull them down from like Python?
We have a iris pip to pull them, and I believe they are located underneath the iris folder structure. Okay, so conclusion. I hope I can convince you that it is not just another binding. It's much more. It's really an alternate development environment or language for your InterSystems Iris server-based development. And it provides benefits for both ObjectScript and Python developers. It's easy to use. You saw that. You have to import a Python library, and then you can use it from ObjectScript, or you import the Iris module in your Python environment, and then you can use InterSystems Iris from Python. And it integrates seamlessly with InterSystems Iris. Other questions so far?
InterSystems Iris comes with a particular version of Python, but what if you need a different version?
So the question was, InterSystems Iris comes with a particular version of Python. What if you need another Python version? I'm not 100% sure if it is already released, but the plan is, of course, that you can use any Python version you want. Currently, it comes with 3.9, yeah, but the goal is that it is possible to use any Python version you want.
Right now you can run it in a virtual environment.
Yeah, yeah.
So you keep your version of Python.
Other questions? Okay. I will be around for the rest of the conference, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or contact me via email or connect via LinkedIn. For now, I'd like to say thank you. I hope you found the session useful. Enjoy the rest of the conference and have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.